Diksha Bhalerao from Tank Road MPS Secondary School, Bhandup. And we have been learning life processes in living organisms. And we have done with 4 sessions. Today is our 5th session, and that one is the last one. Okay, so we'll continue with that. Okay, before going ahead, let us recap all the 4 sessions in a quickly. So what we have learned, we have what we have learned in our last 4 sessions. We have learned transportation in plants, excretion in plants, excretion in human beings, dialysis, coordination in plants, growth relevant movements, coordination in human beings, nervous control, neurons and its types, and the human nervous system. Till this we have done. So let us quickly recap within two lines. What is transportation? We have learned about the transportation, that the process of transportation means a substance either synthesized or absorbed in one part of the body reaches to the another is called as transportation. We have learned about the transportation in plants, how it conduct. Plants have two conducting tissues, that is xylem and phloem. What xylem is doing, xylem is absorbing water and minerals from the roots and transport it to each and every part of the plants. And when it reaches to the leaves, we know that leaves are also called as food factory of the plants, because as we have our kitchens where the food is made by our mamas, likewise plants are also have their kitchens in their leaves, and over there with the help of by the process of photosynthesis they are making their food. And after the preparation they are sending this food to each and every part, back each and every part to the plants, till the root, till the leaves, each and everything. But for that, the plants, this phloem helps this food to transport in the body of the plant. So xylem also needs energy. So through this through the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, it get the energy. Now we have learned about the excretion in plants. We have learned that how excretion helps in the plant's body. So excretion is many harmful and waste materials like urea, uric acid, ammonia, etc., produced in living organisms and even in plants also. So what happened to that? If these substances accumulate in the body or retain in the body for long, it can lead to serious harm or even death. So what the body is doing, the body is removing such harmful waste materials from the body. So how plants are doing this excretion? Plants excretion is a simpler process in plants and than in animals. There is no special organ or system for excretion in plants. Gaseous substances are given out by the diffusion process, and most of the waste material substance of plants are stored in the vacuoles. We have learned about we have seen the picture of the vacuole in the plant cell, which is there in the leaf, leaf cells, and in flowers also, fruits and the bark of the stem also. So after sometimes in a particular season, we know that in autumn season all the leaves falls down, है ना? So why this happens? Because of this extra excretory materials are stored in the leaves. So at the specific time they these parts fall off. So when the flowers fall off, so we can conclude that the excretory part which is stored in the plants is falling off. So fruits, likewise, fruits are also doing, bark of the stem is also falling off. We have learned about the excretory substances. What were the excretory substances? Excretory substances of plants are gum, resin, latex, latex of rubber. All we have seen through the pictures also, and we have learned it very well how this excretion in plants is done. Now excretion in human being. Excretion in human being is little bit complex. We know that there are different organ systems in the human body to bring about the different life processes, such as digestive system for digestion of food, respiratory system for respiration, and the process on in through this process energy production is happen. So various waste materials are formed during this process, and the removal of this waste from the body is very important, and it is the excretory system that carries out the function. So the human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys. We have seen in the picture also, and we have learned also this. A pair of kidneys there, a pair of ureters are there, the urinary bladder is there, the urethra is also there. So the urine is formed by the kidneys by separating the waste and unwanted excess substance from the blood. So two bean-shaped kidneys we have seen, and in that we have seen the nephron is there. What is nephron? Nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney. And likewise, we have cell as a structural and functional of life. Likewise, kidneys are also having a structural and functional unit. So it is called as nephron. Nephrons are so many types, cup-like thin walled structure is there, in which the network of capillaries are there. Glomerulus, we have seen that the urea is produced in the liver, comes into the blood. When the urea containing blood comes into the glomerulus, so all these things happens, and then the blood is this filtered through this kidneys. Now, if what will happen if the efficiency of kidneys can be adversely affected by the injury, infection, or decreased blood supply. In case this happens, an excess of toxic substances accumulates in the body, and it can lead to death. So what nowadays, what the man-made things are useful, man-made machines are useful, which is called as dialyzer. So dialysis is a process of separating the nitrogenous waste from the blood with the help of this machine. Okay. Now coordination, we have learned about the coordination in plants. Coordination in plants, plant do not have systems like nervous system or any types of muscular system or any type of life systems in the body. So what they are doing in plants, movements are mainly in the form of response given to the stimuli. So we have learned about the growth relevant movements also, like tropic movement, phototropic movement, gravitotropic movement, hydrotropic movement, and a chemotropic movement we have learned. So in tropic movement, what happened? Movement or growth of any part of the plant in response to an external stimulus is there. So it is called as tropic movement. In phototropic means what? The shoot system of any plant of the body responds to the light stimulus. So it is called as phototropic movement. Gravitotropic means the root system of the plants responds to the stimuli like gravitation, and hydrotropic means the root system of plants responds to stimuli like water. So it is hydrotropic movement. Movement shown by the plants in response to specific chemicals are called chemotropic. है ना? So all these are the growth relevant movement. Now coordination in human being, how it happens. So different processes go on simultaneously in human body. All these processes need to be efficiently and effectively controlled and coordinated. This is done with the help of two systems. We have learned nervous system, है ना? Nervous system is there. So in nervous system we have learned about the humans can respond to change in the surroundings due to nervous controls and impulse. So response to stimulus we have learned. So neurons are there. Neurons are what is neuron? Neurons are the structure and functional unit of nervous system. It is the largest cell in human body, we have learned. So all the impulses are takes place in this neurons itself. Types of nerve cells we have learned. There are three types of nerve cells: sensory neurons, motor neurons, and association neurons we have seen. The human nervous system we seen, in that central nervous system is there, peripheral nervous system is there, and autonomic nervous system is there. So till central nervous system we have done. What we have learned in central nervous system? The central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. So in our body, the brain and spinal cord togetherly form the central nervous system. And the organization of the brain is extremely delicate and highly evolved. As we all know that the brain is the main controlling part of the nervous system, and it is safely located in the cranial cavity. The spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column, and the space between the delicate central nervous system and its bony covering are the protective layers called the meninges. In that also we have learned the brain of an adult human weighs about 300 to 400 grams and consists of approximately 100 billion neurons. In that we have learned about the cerebrum. This is the largest part of the brain, consists of two cerebral hemisphere, in the left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Then cerebellum is there. It is the smaller part of the brain situated below the cerebrum at the back of the cranial cavity. Medulla oblongata is there. This is the hindmost part of the brain. There are two triangular swollen structures called pyramids on the upper side of medulla oblongata. Right. Spinal cord, we have learned the spinal cord is a part of central nervous system and it is held within the vertebral column. It is slightly thick but gradually tapers towards the end. There is a thread-like fibrous structure at its ends. It is called as phylum terminal. So all we have also learned about the functions of the cerebrum also. What cerebrum is doing, control of the voluntary movements is done by cerebrum. Cerebellum is doing the coordination of voluntary movement, maintaining the body's balance. Medulla oblongata, it controls the involuntary activities like beating of the heart, blood control, circulation, breathing, sneezing, etc. Spinal cord, what it is doing, conduction of impulse from the skin towards the brain and all this. So till this we have done. Now what we are going to learn today? We are going to learn today peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and chemical bond. So see, the human nervous system, you can see a picture over there. The human nervous system is divided into the following three parts: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. Central nervous system, we have already learned that in central nervous system, brain and spinal cords takes place. Now the peripheral nervous, you can see the peripheral nervous systems are side by the ganglia, the nerves are shown over there. So these are the peripheral nervous system. So let us proceed. What is this peripheral nervous system? Peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves originating from the central nervous system. See, in central, we have seen the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord is there. And through this brain, the nerves are spreading everywhere. And in peripheral nervous system, what is there? Peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves originating from the central nervous system, originating from the central nervous system. So you can see in the picture, the picture of brain is there, and spinal cord, you can see this is your central nervous system, and through this the nerves are coming out. These blue color nerves are shown as the peripheral nervous system. These blue color nerves are nothing but the peripheral nervous system. It included. So these nerves connect the central nervous system with all the parts of the body. See, we have seen the central nervous system. It included brain and brain and spinal cord. Through this, the nerves are coming out. These are included in peripheral nervous system, and it reaches to each and all the parts of the body. Understood? So the peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves originating from the central nervous system. These nerves connect the central nervous system with the all parts of the body, and they are of two types. See, two types of peripheral nervous systems are there: cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves and spinal nerves. We can call it spinal nerves also, spinal nerves. So we know that peripheral nervous systems included cranial nerves and spinal nerves. So what are cranial nerves? Let us see. Nerves originating from the brain are called as cranial nerves. See, we know that brain is included in central nervous system. So through this brain, the nerves which are originating, these nerves are called as cranial nerves, and they are associated with the various parts in the head, thorax, and abdomen. Head, thorax, and abdomen, it is spreaded. And there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. 12 pairs of cranial nerves. You can see in the picture, it is shown over there that a brain is given is there, and the nerves which are coming out from the brain are called cranial nerves, and they are of 12 pairs, and they are associated with various parts in the body: head, thorax, and abdomen. So cranial nerves, understood, these are originating from the brain only. Now the spinal nerves. Spinal nerves originating from the spinal cord are called spinal nerves. So see, peripheral nervous system is there in the sorry, peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves originating from the central nervous system. So they are of two types: cranial nerves and spinal nerves. So the nerves which are originating from the brain are called as cranial nerves, and which are originating from the spinal are called as spinal nerves. Understood? So nerves originating from the spinal cord are called as spinal nerves. These are associated with the arteries arms, legs, skin, and some other parts of the body. Cranial nerves are only associated with head, thorax, and abdomen. But the spinal nerves are associated with arms, legs, skin, and some other part of the body. So there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So understood by this that PNS means peripheral nervous system is originating from central nervous system. It included brain and spinal cord. And the nerves which are originating from the brain are called as cranial nerves. They are of 12 pairs and they are associated with the head, thorax, and abdomen. And the nerves originating from the spinal cord is called as spinal nerves, and they are associated with the arms, legs, skin, and some other parts of the body. And they are of 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Now, autonomic nervous system. What is autonomic nervous system? The autonomous nervous system consists of the nerves of involuntary organs. See, central nervous system included brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system included cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves originated from the brain, spinal nerves originated from the spinal cord. Now, autonomic nervous system, it consists of nerves of involuntary organs, which cannot be controlled by ourselves. Okay, it is included, it is inside our body. So the autonomous nervous system consists of the nerves of involuntary organs like heart, lungs, heart's eyes are there, then the lungs are there, then our heart is there, then liver, stomach, pancreas, then kidney, then our the digestive system full, the small intestine, large intestine, है ना, the urethra. All these are the controlled by this autonomic nervous system. So the autonomous nervous system consists of nerves of involuntary organs like heart, eyes, lungs, stomach, liver, pancreas, intestines, and urethra. So these are the involuntary organs, and these are controlled by this autonomic nervous system. Okay. So understood as chain, we have three nervous systems: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord, through which the nerves are coming out, originating. So the nerves originating from the brain are called as cranial nerves. The nerves originating from the spinal cord are the spinal nerves. है ना? But in autonomic nervous system, what happened? It consists of the nerves of involuntary organs, like all the organs we have learned, like heart, eyes, liver, pancreas, stomach, intestines, and all that. Now, reflex action. Let us see what is reflex action. An immediate and involuntary response. An immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment is called as reflex action. Means that it is not in our control. Involuntary means it is not in our control. It is by within only. So an immediate action, it will come out immediately by the stimulus to anything when it responds to the environmental thing. So it is not controlled by ourselves. Even we don't know about these things that it is going to be happen. So what happens in this reflex action? An immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment is called as reflex action. You can see a picture over there of the reflex action. What is seen? You can see a burner is there, and a hot object is over there. So it becomes hot. We know that heat can transfer. So when we touch it, what will happen? We immediately remove our hand. Why? Because we understood by this that it will, our hand will get burn or heat. Okay. So this is nothing but the reflex action, because it is not by our control. We can do anything to protect ourselves. We can do anything to protect ourselves. So all these things are not in our hand. So sometimes we react to an incident without any thinking on our part of control over the reactions. We cannot understood by this. Sometimes what will we do? We will throw that hot pot also from the burner, and we can do this also to protect ourselves, or anything. We can keep our hand in under the running water also to keep our hand, the heated hand cool, है ना? So these things are not in our hand. It is an involuntary action. So how this happens? Let us see. So again, the reflex action, an immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment, is called as reflex action. And sometimes we react to an incident without any thinking on our part or control over the reaction. So this is the response given to a certain stimulus from the surrounding. In such situations, what will happen in such situations? Proper control and coordination is achieved even without intervention of the brain. So see, these things are not controlled by the brain sometimes. So proper control and coordination should be there. So let us see, you can see there a burner is there. If we touch it, we immediately remove our hand. Why we remove our hand? Because of the receptors in the skin get receive a signal, so it will transfer towards the spinal cord, है ना? And again it will our spinal cord again give the signal to remove our hand, otherwise it will get hurt. So let us proceed with this picture from our textbook, and some questions are also there. So we have to observe the figure carefully, and as per the number we have to give the answers. So in first picture, you can see the numbers are different there. You can see a candle burning over there and one finger which is touching over there, and again one hand we have removed it. You can see muscle cells are there, and a spinal, you can see the peripheral nerve, spinal cord is over there, shown over there. You can see the numbers are given 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So these are the questions related to this picture, reflex action. So we know that what is reflex action? An immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment is called as reflex action, है ना? In certain situation we have to be proper control and coordination should be there if in this process. So what is happening at 1 and 2 picture? What is happening? What is happening? A heat, we have seen that a heat is coming through this candle, and what will happen? The or the pain receptors on the skin get the signal. Oh, it is burning, right? And in second picture, which nerve carried the impulse to the point marked 3? So it is sensory neurons. We have learned that 3 types of neurons are there. Nerve cells are there. Sensory neurons, motor neurons, and association neurons. Through in that, sensory neurons conduct impulses from sensory organs to the brain and spinal cord. So it sends the message. It sends the message that something is going to be happen, right? So it will send the signal. The sensory organ sends the green color nerve you can see is a sensory organ. So this is the third part. And which is the nerve shown by the figure 4? Which is the nerve? So these are the motor neurons. See, motor neurons conduct impulses from the brain or spinal cord to effector organs like muscles. It sends the message again. And which is the organ marked as 5? So this organ is nothing but central nervous system. We know that what is there in central nervous system? Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. And in through brain, some nerves are originating that are cranial nerves, and through spinal cord, some nerves are originating called as spinal nerves. है ना? So through this, the body, the brain, get the signal. है ना? And at 6, which nerve is conducting the response impulse? It again the motor neuron get the impulse from the brain or spinal cord to effector organs like muscles, where the effect is going, so it will send the message to there. So at 7, where has the impulse reached? What is its effect? Effector in muscle cells get the message, oh, it is burning, and we quickly remove hand. So understood this process of reflex action, and immediate and involuntary response given to environment is called as reflex action. Even we don't know how we are going to react when we get this, so it is involuntary, and in through this reflex action we can get the message. We can get that through the hand, we get the brain receptors on the skin give the message or signal. Then again what will happen, the sensory neurons give this message to the spinal cord, the central nervous system, and again the central nervous system through the motor neuron send the message again to the effector muscles, and again quickly we remove our hand. So we can So this is the important picture which is coming in the examination also. So a question will come to draw the diagram of reflex action with the explanation. So you need to explain it likewise step by step. So you will get the good marks over there. So let us proceed. Understood by reflex action. Now chemical bond. This is something much more important. Chemical control. Chemical bond. Sorry, it should be chemical control. So control and coordination in our body is also brought about with the help of certain chemical substances called hormones. See, what we have learned about central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. But something different is there. Why this is also there? So our body is also controlled and coordinated by some other things, chemical substance called hormones. So what are hormones? Control and coordination in our body is also brought about with the help of certain chemical substances. Our body secretes something. So this is nothing but the hormones which also controls and coordinate our body. So the hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. Endocrine glands means the glands we know that we have glands. So some glands are there which are inside our body are called as endocrine glands. So these hormones are secreted by these endocrine glands. So these glands are also called as ductless glands. These are not having any type of ducts. Any type of ducts they don't have. So these glands do not have any arrangement of their own to either store or carry their secretion. They don't have ducts, so they cannot carry these things, the secretory substance, whatever they have secreted, they cannot store it anywhere. So what they are doing, hence as soon as the hormones are produced, suppose the hormones are produced in any of the endocrine gland, what will happen? They are directly released into the blood circulation, so those, though the endocrine glands are present at specific locations in our body, their secretions reach all parts of the body via blood. So see how it will work. So again, the control and coordination in our body is also brought about with the help of certain chemical substances called hormones. And these hormones are secreted by endocrine glands, which are ductless. That's why they don't have any type of special arrangements over there. So they cannot store or carry their secretion. So what they are doing, they are directly releasing these hormones into the bloodstreams. Okay, so through these bloodstreams, these hormones reach to each and every part of the body. Understood by this, how this hormone endocrine glands are working? Again, I'll explain. The hormones are the chemical substances that are secretes inside the body, inside the endocrine glands, and these endocrine glands are ductless, so they cannot carry or secrete this, store or carry this secretion. So what they are doing, they are directly releasing these hormones into the bloodstreams. Okay, so each and every part will get this different types of secretions like called as hormones. So endocrine glands along with the nervous system are responsible for the control and coordination in our body. So with the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, these endocrine glands are also very much important in this nervous system. Why? Because they are secreting some hormones which are very much required by our body for control and coordination in our body. Okay, so these two types help each other to control and integrate the various activities of the body. A marked difference between these two systems is that nerve impulses are fast but short-lived, whereas the action of the hormones is very slow but long-lasting. See, in the nervous system, what will happen? What will happen over there? That the effect, the nerve impulses are fast. They are working very fastly, but they are short-lived. But what about hormones? Hormones are very slowly secreted, but they last for long time. Keep it in mind that hormones are very slow, but they can last for long time. So it is very important that hormones are secreted only in the required quantity. So if our see there are everything has a limitations. We know that everything has limitation. So likewise, these hormones are also having limitations. So if it is very important to secrete in a required amount, whatever our body's requirement is there, the different hormones are there. So whatever secretions is required by the body, they have to secrete that much only. If it should not go beyond that, and it cannot be below that also. What will happen after this? If it is not going properly, that our control and coordination of our body will get disturbed. You know that nowadays thyroid problem is there, thyroid disease is there. It is nothing a severe disease, but the secretion of this hormone, one type of hormone is there, thyroxine. The amount of thyroxine in some person, what will happen, it releases the large amount which beyond the requirement of the body, or low amount beyond below the requirement of our body. So it should release in a proper amount. Otherwise, we will have some uncontrolled uncontrolled body coordination should be there. So whenever there is for example, you know that some persons are diabetic. Why they are diabetic? Why? Because whenever there is an increase in blood glucose level, certain cells in the pancreas get stimulated, and as a response, they release a greater quantity of insulin. And what will happen after that? The person will get diabetic. So all these hormones are very much important. They are important for control and coordination in our body. And again, what they should do, they are secreted by endocrine glands. They are ductless glands. They do not have any type of special arrangement to carry or carry these things. So what they are doing, they are directly releasing these hormones in the blood circulation, so that the body, each and every body part can have this type of hormone. You can see in the picture, male system you can see, and female system. In that, hypothalamus, pineal gland, pituitary gland, you can see these are the hormones. These pineal gland, pituitary gland, thalamus, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus, adrenal glands, ovary and testes. You can see ovary only. See, thyroid gland, thymus gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal gland are seen in both male and female, but only ovary gland is seen in female, and testis glands are seen in male only. Let us proceed. See, we can see, let us see some endocrine glands. We know that hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, pancreas, adrenal gland, ovary, testes, thymus, all these are the glands. And now we will learn about the hormones, what they have secreted, and their location and their functions. Okay, so let us start with the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is located above the pituitary gland in the forebrain. You can see the picture over there, and over there it is pituitary gland is there in the forebrain. So over there it is situated, and what the it secretes the hormones which control the activity of the secretory cells of the pituitary gland. Okay, so it controls the pituitary gland. It controls the pituitary glands. Now pituitary gland at the base of the brain, it located at the base of the brain. You can see picture over there, and the pituitary gland is located, and the hormones which are secreted by these pituitary glands are growth hormone, now adrenocorticotropic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, which is also called in short TSH, prolactin hormone, follicle stimulating hormone means FSH. You can see over there. Then luteinizing hormone LH, then oxytocin, androgen hormone. All these are the hormones that are secreted by the pituitary gland. And what are the functions of this gland? See, growth hormone stimulates the growth of the bones. See, if the growth hormone will not, then what will happen? Our bones get growing, and then what will happen? We will not be able to, our body will not be able to function, work properly. So all these growth hormones are very much required to limit all the functions in the body. So ASEH hormone, what is the function of this? It stimulates the adrenal gland. Thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the thyroid gland. FSH stimulates to control the gonads are there. Luteinizing hormones control the menstrual cycle and ovulation in females. Oxytocin contracts the uterus during parturitions, then regulates the water level in the body. So these all hormones are very much important, which are secreted by the pituitary gland. Now the thyroid gland, anterolateral sides of the trachea and the neck. You can see that a butterfly shape red color portion over there. These are the thyroid gland. It is located in the trachea of the our neck. So what happened? What hormones it secreted? It secretes thyroxine and calcitonin. It secretes thyroxine and calcitonin. So what is the function of this thyroxine? It controls growth of body and metabolic activities. It controls calcium metabolism and calcium level in the body. Now parathyroid, है ना, it is also over there with this thyroid gland only. So four glands behind this thyroid glands, parathormone, it controls the metabolism of calcium and phosphorus. See, each and every hormone has the control coordination function only and stimulation only. So these are very much important, which only also works with this central this nervous system. Now pancreas, you can see pancreas, the red color portion behind the stomach. It is behind the stomach. You can see below the stomach it is given, but it is behind the stomach. Four types of cell: alpha cell, beta cell, delta cell, pp cells or f cells are there. And what hormones they are secretes glucagon, insulin, है ना, somatostatin, pancreatic polypeptide. And what are the functions? It stimulates liver to control glycogen into glucose, stimulates liver to convert excess blood glucose into glycogen, controls levels of insulin and glucagon, controls movements of intestine and thereby glucose absorption, and controls secretion of pancreatic juice. Now adrenal gland, you can see over there below the liver, you can see a part over there. It is above kidney is shown, and on that kidney this adrenal gland is there. So anterior end of each kidney, adrenal gland is present. So which hormone it secretes? It secretes adrenaline and noradrenaline glands and corticosteroid. Now how it functions: controls behaviors during crisis and emotional situations. We have emotional situations, during that it controls our behavior. So we have seen an angry person is there, its behavior get very much angry, or the person will get tempered. Why? Because this adrenal gland will secrete much more beyond the requirement. So that's why it happens. So it controls the behavior during the crisis and emotional situations, stimulates heart and its conducting tissue and metabolic processes, maintains balances of sodium and potassium, and stimulate metabolisms. Now ovary, you can see over there, ovary and placenta. You can see the ovary is nothing but you can see below the right portion, ovary and placenta is there. So it is on either side of the uterus in the woman. It is found only in female, we know that. So it secretes estrogen and progesterone. So what it happens, it stimulates the growth of endometrium, stimulates the growth of secondary sexual characteristics in women, and prepares the endometrium for conception and maintains the pregnancy. So it helps in all these things. Now testis, it is there, you can see over there, it is there in the scrotum. It secretes this testosterone, stimulates the growth of secondary sexual characteristics like beard, mustaches, horse voice, etc. in man. Now thymus is there. It is there in thoracic cage near the heart. It secretes the thymosin. It controls the cell which give rise to immunity power. So all these are the endocrine gland, their location, hormones and function. You can see on the on our textbook page 177. You will get all the information over there. So this is the last portion. We have learned about the peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and reflex section. So we'll proceed. We'll quickly recap this peripheral nervous system. So the peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves originating from the central nervous system. These nerves connect the central nervous system with all the parts of the body, and there are of two types: cranial nerves and spinal nerves. The nerves originating from the brain are called cranial nerves. They are of 12 pairs and associated with the head, thorax, and abdomen. And the nerves originating from the spinal cord are called spinal nerves, and these are associated with the arms, legs, skin, and other parts of the body. And they are of 31 pairs. We understood by this autonomic nervous system that it consists of the nerves of involuntary organs, eyes, liver, kidneys, and stomach, all these, heart, lungs, all these are functioned by autonomic nervous system. We learn about the reflex action, and immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment is called as reflex action. Sometimes we react an incidents without any thinking of a body part or control over the reaction. So all these are controlled by this reflex action, and the sensory neurons are helpful in that. We have learned about the chemical control. The control and coordination in our body is also brought about by the certain chemical substances which are called hormones. Hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. These are ductless. Why these are ductless? These are ductless. That's why they cannot store or carry this type of secretion. So what they are doing? They're directly releasing these hormones into the bloodstream. You know, our body has different type of glands: hypothalamus, pineal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus, adrenal glands, ovary, and testes, and each and every gland has secretes the different hormones. They are having different locations, and their functions are also different. So you can see this on page number 177. Now let us proceed for some question answers. Not I'm not taking all the question answers, but few I can suggest you, and we can learn. So see the exercise 1, question number 1, the match the pair and explain. We have already learned in these growth relevant movements. So growth of pollen tube towards oval. So it is not included in gravitropic, chemotropic, phototropic. Sorry, it is there in chemotropic. Okay, it is a chemotropic. It is a chemically uh, tropic movement. Now growth of shoot system, we understood it by phototropic, that where the sunlight is there, the shoot system will grow over through that. Then the growth of root system, automatically we understood that it is below the soil, so it is gravitotropic, which grows towards the gravity. Growth of water, hydro, by the name this hydrotropic, we understood by this hydro is related with something water, so it is, the answer is hydrotropic movement. So the growth of pollen tube towards ovals, chemotropic movement. Growth of shoot system, phototropic movement. Growth of root system, gravitotropic movement. Growth of water towards water, hydrotropic movement. Now the second question, complete the paragraph. The milk was on the stove. It is something related with reflex action. The milk was on the stove. Rasika was engrossed watching television. She smelled something burning. She ran towards the kitchen. The milk was boiling over. She held the vessel with her bare hand, but screaming, she let it go at once. This activity was controlled by nerve cell. We have learned about this reflex action. In that we have learned that it is controlled by nerve cells, and special ends of dendrite in these cells collected the information from where it can transfer to the cell body. And then towards the terminal end of the axon, the chemicals produced at the terminal and pass through the minute space, that is synapse. In this way, impulse were conducted in the body, and the process of reflex action was completed by conducting the impulses from nerve cells to muscle cells. So you can take out the screenshot and you can write it afterwards, but this is related with the reflex action. Now the third question, write notes on root pressure, transpiration, nerve cell, human brain, and reflex action. So root pressure, what is? It is the pressure developed in the xylem due to metabolic activity of the root cells. It is hydrostatic pressure developed in the root system that pumps the water or sap into the root xylem. Transpiration is the evaporation of water into the atmosphere from the leaves and stems of the plants. Transpiration is the process of water movement through a plant and its evaporation from aerial parts, especially from leaves, but also from stems and plants. Nerve cells are also known as neurons. These are the primary building blocks of the nervous system in humans and animals. Its main function is transmitting and receiving electrochemical messages. Human brain. In short, I have written over there, a human brain is the largest, the developed structure in the anatomy of human beings and other well-organized organisms. The brain is made up of about 100 billion neurons, and it weighs about 300 gram to 1400 gram. Reflex actions are sudden, involuntary reactions of the body in response to stimuli. They occur without the involvement of conscious areas of the brain. Therefore, all reflex actions are unconscious actions. So you can take out the screenshot and you can write. Now, the fourth question I have not mentioned over here, but uh, orally I can explain. Name the hormones of the following endocrine glands and its function. So pituitary glands secretes LH, luteinizing hormone, FSH, growth hormone, TSH. Thyroid secretes thyroxine. Adrenal secretes adrenaline. Thymus secretes thymosin. Testis secretes testosterone. Ovaries secretes estrogen and progesterone. Fifth question, draw and label the diagram. So human endocrine glands, you will get this diagram on page number 176. Human brain, you can get this picture from 173 page. Nephron from 167 page. Nerve cells 171. Human excretory system from 167 page number. Till this we will conclude our lesson over here, and we have been